business school. I'm going to give you guys a chance to come into the conversation. We have a really good discussion that I'd like to lead with you really quickly. We're gonna talk a little bit about Lavar Ball. Lavar Ball is an interesting guy. He has a lot of he says and does a lot of things that make you say, there's a lot of stuff that I see Lavar, kind of associating with or things sort of happening to him that certainly make for a good, behind the music kind of story. Lavar is clearly one of the more interesting public figures in the Black community and beyond. Lavar is the founder and the creator of the Big Baller brand. He has three sons, all who have the name or the letters La or something associated with the name. I think it's LaMelo and Lonzo and and something else. I can't remember. I can't keep up with it. So he names everything after himself, which is kind of weird. But it is what it is. It's what he does. It's who he is as a man. There's this interesting development I wanted to talk to you guys about because I'd like to get you guys' take on this. It did not sit well with me. I will say this, and this is why I chose to discuss it. Actually, before we dig in, I want to say welcome to everybody. Do me a favor, shout out your city. Cornelius, is that Cornelius? Quentin 601, what's going on? Molo Vision, Darren, Kelowna, hello, good to see you too. Shout out your city. Leangelo, that's his name, Leangelo. I get them mixed up. I can't remember all the names of sons, but he teaches them to play basketball pretty well, and they seem to be decent guys. Their father's an interesting person, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. I see Rapid City, Houston, Texas. All Black National Convention is going to be in Houston the weekend of September 27th. So if you want to come to the greatest Black family reunion that you've ever been to, join us. Visit allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. It's Black wealth conversations, Black politics, Black news, Black love, Black power, Black health, everything Black, all the time. Not some fluffy political conference. It's a conference about real issues. Dr. Claude Anderson is invited. Dr. George Frazier, Vicki Dillard, Nicole Price, the leadership expert, and a lot of other great people will be there. So if you want to be a part of something special, go to allblacknationalconvention.com and get your tickets now. Go ahead and make your travel arrangements the weekend of September 27th. Macon, Georgia, Decatur, Georgia. I see Louisiana, Kylene, Texas, Riverside, California, Vallejo, California, Brooklyn. Brooklyn's in the house. What's going on? Brooklyn has some of the smartest Black people I've ever seen. I'll just say that. That's what I know. When I think about Brooklyn, I think about intelligence. Okay, so let's get it cracking. Let's jump into this conversation. Okay, so apparently Lavar Ball, is in this weird thing with ESPN, where ESPN all but banned him after he had this interesting back and forth with a female commentator. Apparently, he flirted with the lady, and since flirting with people makes you now officially, I guess, makes you into a predator or a potential rapist, they have pretty much announced that they have no plans to bring Lavar back on. Now, is this an outright ban? They didn't state it as such, but it kind of sounded like a ban. Let me just read this to you. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button, and I'll read this to you as you hit the thumbs up button. Please do that. It's very important. It says, here, according to CNN Business, it says Lavar Ball's comments on air to a female ESPN host may keep him from returning. About the possibility of Ball returning to air, an ESPN spokesman, Michael Skarka, said, "We have no plans moving forward." Now, that's a pretty ambiguous statement, right? The plans change, things happen, right? So it's not an outright ban. I've seen it, TMZ and some other places that are more salacious sort of laid it out as a ban. ESPN didn't announce it as a ban. They just said, we don't want him back, or we don't have any plans to bring him back anytime soon. Now, I see somebody says that he did not flirt, but let me just read this, and I'm gonna give you guys my take on some of this. So Ball, who runs the Junior Basketball Association and has a line of shoes, came under fire after an exchange he had with ESPN host Molly Querum. It's funny, her name's Molly. Molly sounds a lot like Becky, don't it? Just like anybody know any Black women named Molly? Anybody know anybody? I know the rapper Future. Do you know a Black woman named Molly, baby?
On that Issa Rae show, her name was Molly.
That's a character.
Yeah.
That ain't no real person. That's not. I'm looking for a real goddamn human being. Molly is not a black. Okay. Anyway, I'm playing.
I love that show.
Issa Rae show. Yeah. Okay. We can talk about that. We can analyze that. Anyway, I ain't never met a black woman named Molly. So that Molly sounds a lot like Becky, and this is a Becky kind of story. Let me break this down for you. Okay. So so here's what Lavar said to Molly. Lavar said, can you, or wait, Lavar, I can switch gears with you because I have a question here, she said. And he says, you can switch gears with me anytime. Ball responded. Quirm's face showed shock at the apparent insinuation and mentioned calling human resources at the end of the show. Lavar Ball's comments to Molly Quirm Rose was completely inappropriate, and we made him aware of that, ESPN said in a response. Ball's representative told TMZ that his comments were not meant to be sexual. Lavar was asked if he wanted to switch gears. In his mind, switching gears was changing the subject anytime. And he said, yes, you can switch gears with me anytime. At no time was that intended or meant to be in a sexual nature. Now, what do y'all think? Like, just straight up, just be, this is a home for intelligent black people. So, and you can be honest, right? Do you think that there's a chance? Because Lavar, I think Lavar's wife is she's a descendant of the original Beckys. She's she's from the Becky tribe. I'm not dissing, but it's real. She's not one of those superior African American women that we have, or she doesn't have those African genes. I'll say that. Do you think that there's a chance that maybe he was flirting a little bit? Okay, I'm seeing not sexual at all. People saying no. Her reaction made it that way. And Stephen A. Okay, Shaka Zulu says yes. Here's what I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna break this down. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of no's. Hell no. MG says no. It was Jalen's wife. That's right. She's Jalen Rose's wife. Okay, so that adds a complication. Right? So I want to be careful because I like Jalen Rose a lot. So I'm not even gonna make this anti-Molly. But because I like Jalen, right? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna say that it's not out of the question that he could have been, like, you can switch gears with me anytime, wink, wink. I'm not going to say that's out of the question, right? Because sometimes, believe it or not, I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes men are attracted to women. Sometimes it happens. I know y'all have never heard of that, where a man is attracted to a woman, but and sometimes we let the woman know that we're attracted to her, right? I know that that's crazy, but it does happen. Okay. And here's another thing that's going to blow your mind. This is probably going to freak you out. You probably won't know what to do with this information, but most of the time it's pretty harmless. Most of the time, a man, I'm going to tell you, the woman that I love is the most beautiful black woman I've seen in my life. I saw her across a crowded room 25 years ago and said, my God, I got to go. I got to know this girl's name. Right. And to this day, she's so gorgeous. Y'all might have seen her. She's very pretty. She'll go places and I'll see men flirting with her and they may not know that we're together. And they'll be like, you can switch gears with me anytime. Right. And then, of course, I walk up and then, of course, the conversation changes, or at least it better be, because Boyce is in the building now. So we're going to change this whole dialogue. However, I don't get offended. It doesn't bother me. Why does it not bother me? Well, because she's a pretty lady. She's going to get hit on. Ladies, tell me if guys say things to you on a regular basis, does it make you want to call the cops? Does it, if a guy says, I think you're gorgeous, oh my God, that dress looks really nice on you, or you're a beautiful woman, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Does that make you feel like, oh my God, he's going to snatch me up and take me to the bathroom and rape me tomorrow? Does that make you, want to call human resources and say, oh my God, we must ban him from ESPN because he's clearly a predator. It's predatory behavior. He said he could switch gears with me anytime. What do you mean by that, sir? So not only was the comment ambiguous, right? Because you can't read his mind. It's arrogant to think that every time a black man says something to you that he's trying to hit on you. That right there is a problem. Did just the fundamental, because a lot of y'all, when I said, do you think Lavar was flirting? A lot of y'all said no. Well, why is that not a credible response? right? Why can't it be open to interpretation? Like maybe he want to switch gears with you. Maybe he really want to switch gears with you, right? You don't know. So why are you assuming that he's trying to go get down with this lady on national TV? Why make that assumption? Who the hell are you to think, to be so arrogant as to believe that because this black man made an ambiguous comment to you in the course of an interview, that somehow he's trying to get you naked and fuck you? That's some pretty shit to begin with. Let's just start right there, right? That's a problem right there. Now, could it have been sexual? I'm going to go ahead and say it could have been. But could have been ain't the same as definitely was. Now, if he said, girl, I want to get you naked right now because I just got to have you, then that's a different comment. But he's like, you can switch gears with me anytime, right? You don't know what that means. And even if it means what you think it means, it was still a harmless comment. It was still a harmless comment. So let me just be the first to say, ESPN, you can kiss my ass because you're overreacting on this. If your reaction was in any way some sort of admonishment of him, or you're chastising him, or you're somehow warning him and disciplining him, do you understand that behavior? First of all, not only is it unnecessary, but it's incredibly racist. It's an Emmett Till move. That's what it is. It's basically saying that the fact that you might have been flirting with this woman on TV makes you a predator, sir. We will not allow that. We will not have that. How you think that she's attractive? How dare you act like this woman would even want anything to do with you? Who do you think you are? Right? That's an Emmett Till move. Why is it an Emmett Till move? Because number one, people flirt all the time. It doesn't mean somebody's about to get raped. And number two, has anybody, let me just keep, has anybody ever seen Tiffany Haddish on these national shows where literally almost every single time Tiffany shows up on a national TV show, first thing she does, she's like, hey, she starts off dancing, her tongue is out, hey, and then she'll start talking about how many white boys in Hollywood where she wants to corner them in the elevator and zip their pants open and suck their penis on the spot. Like, has anybody seen this? Has anybody seen how regularly Tiffany Haddish consistently speaks about white men in Hollywood that she would love to get down with in a second? Has anybody seen this? Or am I the only one who's seen this bed wench behavior from this lady who doesn't understand that she's a walking minstrel show? Has anybody else seen this? At any point, has somebody called human resources on Tiffany Haddish and said, I'm sorry, ma'am, you're out of line. We're going to have to ban you because this behavior is unacceptable. Has anybody ever done that? Has it ever happened once? One time? No, it's never happened. In fact, they love it. They encourage it. They like, come back on and tell us more about how you want Brad Pitt to shove some plastic object up your butt. Like seriously, come, they like that. That's what endears them to her. That's what they love about her. Right? So, but when you flip it over and it's a black man talking about what he want to do with a white woman, then suddenly that's inappropriate, that's predatory. Sir, we're going to have to ban you and we're going to call human resources because how dare you speak and even insinuate that you might be attracted to this woman. Now, I'm not a fan of none of it. I'm going to tell you, I'm just be honest with you. I'm not even a big fan of Lavar Ball. I think Lavar Ball's a little full of himself. I think Lavar kind of, there's something that rubs me the wrong way. I didn't like the way he came on the scene talking about I can beat Michael Jordan in one-on-one. No, you can't, dude. I saw your record. You averaged 1.9 points per game in the 1980s. Stop it. You sound stupid. You sound crazy, right? I didn't like that. I ain't gonna lie. But at the same time, being fair to Lavar, I admired his courage in creating the Big Baller brand and standing up to the major shoe companies. I admired that. I admire what he's done with his sons, raising them to be fine young men who exhibit excellence on the basketball court. I admire that about Lavar. So Lavar, he's a guy that gets on my nerves a little bit, but he's also a man that at least he's living his life. At least he's doing the damn thing. He got more courage than 98% of the people up in this room right now because he's out here going for it. God bless him for that. I love him for that. I respect him for that. So in this particular situation, when I look at Lavar, I think LaVar might have been saying something that maybe I don't think I would say that. I think if she says, I want to switch gears with you, Dr. Watkins, I say, absolutely, go right ahead. I wouldn't say, I'll switch gears with you anytime. Like, I'm not going to do that, right? That's not what would happen. I've been on ESPN before. I've never even thought of saying anything like that. So that's not my style. But at the same time, you know, the fact that LaVar made that comment, maybe you take him to the side, you say, hey, you know, could you try not to do that? Because in this environment that's male dominated, it can make women feel a little uncomfortable if the men, you know, are a little bit overboard. You know, and think about this. You're a woman. You're in a space, high testosterone space. You're dealing with all these athletes, former athletes. You know, these real aggressive, high testosterone. You know, like hunter type men. So you got to fight them off. You have to fight them off with a stick, and it's not right. Women shouldn't have to endure that. Right? There's a point where the woman says, look, stop. I don't want any of that. I want to do my job and I want to be respected. So she deserves that respect. But for you to, you know, act like, oh, this is worthy of him being banned, that we got to call human resources, you know, you're implying somehow that he's a threat. And what people don't understand is that there is a history of that. There is a history not long ago. You're talking about your parents' generation, your grandparents' generation, where a black man could be murdered for even implying that he wants to get with a white woman. And I don't know, maybe Molly is black and I just don't know it, but Molly don't look black to me. Y'all tell me what Molly's background is. I'm looking at I know she's married to Jalen, so she likes the black men. But you know, but I don't think Molly is black. I think Molly is a white lady. You know, so at least she looks white. At least she looks white. That's enough. Oh, she's Arab. Okay, she's Arab. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You know, so I thought she may be white with a tan or something. But okay, so she's Arab. Either way, though, there is this underlying theme that's consistently. Okay, somebody says Greek. I see somebody says Mexican. What the hell, man? Y'all need to go get your facts straight. But y'all got me out here getting it all wrong. But either way, you know, there no harm, no foul, man. You're making something out of nothing. And the thing is that ESPN has a track record of doing this. This ain't the first time that they've overreacted toward a black man to discipline a black man for doing something that a white woman could get away with every day of the week. Y'all might not remember this, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Stephen A. Smith got bitch slapped in public by ESPN. I'm talking about he's making all that big money and good for him, and he's one of the greats as far as commentators go, and God bless him. But do y'all remember when Stephen A. Smith got shut down because he made a comment, a really common sense comment about basically, I think it was about domestic violence. And he was basically saying that, you know, he was saying that he says to his sisters, like, don't be in here starting stuff with your man because I don't want to have to go over there and end up getting arrested or killing somebody, or, you know, so just stay cool or whatever. And they were like, how dare you actually hold women accountable? How dare you act like women are empowered enough to actually cause a fight? How dare you act like women have any responsibility in any of these situations at all? Even though those of us who know the reality know that a lot of these domestic violence situations that seem cut and dry are not so cut and dry. It doesn't mean that domestic violence is okay. Nobody would ever say that. But the things that seem to be cut and dry ain't always cut and dry. You know, Ike and Tina Turner, that appeared on the screen to be cut and dry, but it really wasn't cut and dry. Anybody who knew the real story knows that it wasn't cut and dry. Even Tina Turner herself said it wasn't as cut and dry as they made it look on camera, right? But there's the narrative that's being created that says that every time a couple gets into a fight, that it must be the man's fault. And if it's a black man, it's double his fault, it's triple his fault. The black man is the original and the primary predator in America. So there's really nothing you can do right as a black man without being punished or criticized or attacked. So Stephen A. Smith made that comment, which I thought was actually one of his good ones. I mean, I've had issues with things Stephen A. said before, but I didn't have an issue with that. I said, actually, he's making a good point. I'm glad somebody's actually speaking up on behalf of black men, because I know a lot of black men who got caught up with crazy ass, evil ass, nasty ass women, but they end up looking like the bad guy, you know. So I would actually like what he said. But then ESPN came back, and let me tell you what happened. ESPN has a policy. Their policy, among many others, is that if you work at ESPN, you are not allowed to publicly disparage any other brand associated with the network. You're not allowed to do that. You can't get mad at, You know, Steve, you can't get mad at one of the personalities or whoever, you know, one of the hosts, Scott Van Pelt or somebody, and then go on your Twitter and talk shit about Scott Van Pelt. You can't do that. You'll get fired for that. That's their official policy. There was a white woman at ESPN who was not satisfied with ESPN's response to Stephen A's remarks. I think Stephen A. Had went on TV and did what they love to see the black man do. He put his tail between his legs and tucked his penis up under so it would look like a nice warm vagina. And he bowed his head a little bit, and he had his tail between his legs, and he apologized and said, "I was just sorry and I won't do it no more." I hated it. I hate seeing a black man on his knees, but then again, he's making lots of money now, so maybe sometimes it's worth it. I have no idea. But either way, he apologizes. And the white woman was not happy with his apology. She was not satisfied. She was a feminist, and feminists feel like they can just break the rules whenever they want to. So you know what she did? She went on Twitter and she blasted Stephen A. She violated company policy, broke the rule, and did something a black man can never get away with at ESPN. She went and blasted the shit out of Stephen A. and talked crazy shit about him. And instead of actually punishing her like they should have, do you know what they did? They went back and they suspended Stephen A. How about that shit? How about them apples? Literally, instead of her getting a punishment like she was supposed to get according to company policy, they punished him for the fact that she had broken the rules. They put him on suspension. You know what that reminded me of? It reminds me of when Tiger Woods got in that situation with his wife, where he was sleeping with all those women, and she got mad and she tried to murder him with a golf club, literally murder him. She put the golf club upside his face, upside his head. And I was thinking, I thought that if you hit somebody in the head with a golf club, you're supposed to go to jail for that. No, instead of sending her to jail, you know what they did? He was on TV apologizing. Now, part of that was Tiger's decision too. Maybe he didn't want to press charges against his wife. But I know that it wouldn't matter how many women. If you're a black man, it don't matter how many men your woman done slept with. It wouldn't matter. She could have had sex with 14 sailors and a monkey. But if you come up in there with a baseball bat or a golf club and put that golf club upside her head, you going to jail. You can't be like, well, but she hurt my feelings because she cheated. You still going to jail. Well, I was emotionally distressed and I didn't know what to do. No, you're going to jail. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So basically in America, we got two sets of laws. We got black people laws. We got black man laws. And then we got white woman laws. And then we got everything in between. We got everything in between. So the best way to understand racism in America is to look at a situation, look at an action, look at the punishment, and then I want you to switch the race and switch the gender and say, would that happen the same if that black man just got 30 years in prison for touching a woman's titty? Would that sentence be the same if it were a white woman who touched a man's balls without permission? Would a white woman get 30 years in prison for inappropriately touching a man's ass? Like seriously, you just got to ask these questions, because that's when America's hypocrisy just shows itself. It's like, bam, bitches, I'm here. Like the hypocrisy's like, ha, right? It just literally jumps right out at you, and you can see clearly what America looks like. This is where my PhD actually helps you guys, because when I was working on my PhD, one thing that we used to do was what we call multivariate analysis. My statisticians in here might know what I'm talking about. That's where you look at an equation and you take one thing and you move it and you switch it around. You switch a variable and you say, it looks like this, but what would happen if you switch this? Or what would happen if you change that? Right? That's where when I wrote my book in 2004, What If George Bush Were a Black Man? All I was doing was multivariate analysis. All I was doing was saying, let's take the exact same situation and let's switch out the race and let's see what happens if you change the race, or if you change whether it's a poor person or a rich person, right? That's when you can really see America's hypocrisy. So America's a sick ass country. And as far as I'm concerned with this situation with Lavar Ball, this ain't nothing but Emmett Till 2.0. That's all it is. It's like, how dare you, nigga, go in here and talk to this woman in this way in front of everybody, acting like you somebody. We're gonna put you in your place because what you did was inappropriate. And the thing is that the people who are executing these racist strategies, they don't even know that they're doing it, because racism is deeply systematic. It's deeply embedded in your subconscious, is deeply embedded into the fabric of the culture of American society, to the point where you really think, these people really think that they're doing the right thing. They really think, oh, well, we're just protecting a woman. This is Dr. Watkins thinks it's race and he's just full of it. He's not no. I'm an expert on race. I understand how these things work. I've been a black man my whole life and I've been reading lots of books. So at the end of the day, this is some racist behavior. Because there's no way a white woman could go on the air and flirt with the host and get banned from ESPN because she flirted. Or there's no way on earth that this could happen to anybody other than a black man talking to a woman who's not black in this particular situation. So that's my 2 cents on it. I think Lavar got a raw deal. I think it's wrong. But then again, ESPN, that's their network. That's why black people have to own our own assets. We have to own our own media. And so speaking of that, this is Black media. So I'd love for you guys to support what we're doing in Black media. We are growing every single day. We grow faster if you guys help us. So if you'd like to be a supporter and a patron of Intelligent Black Media, all you have to do is go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Also, please hit the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, share button, all that stuff. I want to let you guys know about some stuff that we have going on that you can have for free. One, everybody should be an investor. Every black person should be an investor, because that's how we're going to build wealth. That's the Boyce Watkins reparations program. The reparations program is that we're going to repair. That's what the word reparations roots in, is repair. We're going to repair our broken mindset when it comes to wealth building. So the first step in the reparations, in the Dr. Boyce reparations plan, is that I want as many black people as possible to become investors. So if you want to invest, we got a whole free training. Won't cost you a penny. Just go to blackmoney100.com and you can get a free training on how to buy your first share of stock. And then what I want you to do, just do this for me, but really do it for your family. Do it for your family, then do it for me too as a favor. I want you to buy a couple shares of stock for your children or for your family every couple of weeks or every month. Whenever you get a little money, whatever amount you spend on fast food, try to spend that same amount on your future and building your future. If everybody does that, if we get 1 million people all doing the same thing, then what's going to happen is in a generation, we're going to have a couple extra $1 trillion for our children to play with. So please go to blackmoney100.com or intelligentblackpeople.com. So I'm about to get out of here, guys. One more thing, I'll be in Chicago on July 28th. So if you'd like to join our investment seminar in Chicago, you can go to drboycechicago.com. That's drboycechicago.com. New Orleans is next week, the weekend of June 28th. That's drboyceneworleans.com, drboyceneworleans.com. Last but not least, the All Black National Convention is the weekend of September 27th. And you can learn about that. That's going to be in Houston. That's allblacknationalconvention.com, allblacknationalconvention.com. And then, of course, Harvest Festival weekend is going to be the second Saturday in August. We're going to celebrate that out in Los Angeles. So I'm going to put that information at drboycelosangeles.com. So there you go. So by the way, I see that you mentioned the name Jalen. Then I want to say to Jalen, if Jalen's watching or any of his friends are watching, this is no offense towards you, bro. This is all about ESPN. I like Jalen Rose a lot. I think Jalen Rose is an excellent commentator. I think he's going to do extraordinarily well. And I'm really proud of the work that he does online, especially the fact that he helped Juwan Howard get that job over in Michigan. And I think Michigan did the right thing by hiring him. So just to be balanced, I'm gonna let you guys know how I see all of this. Lots of good people that work at ESPN, but this was the wrong decision. This was fucked up. It was racist and it was terrible. And they need to go and apologize, because what you basically did was you just criminalized the black man for looking at a woman who appears to be white. I don't know if she's white, Arab, Hispanic. Y'all done threw out everything, Greek, alien. Like I don't know what she is. But either way, though, none of this was appropriate. And so I hope you'll see my point of view. All right, so I'm out of here, guys. Hit the thumbs up button before you go. Please hit the thumbs up button. And I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace.